Welcome to Roger's Kakasungura YouTube channel. I will never get tired to say thank you to each and every fan who is working very hard to see Kakasungura is growing. A big thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Before you watch, the very first thing you should do, you click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Kaka, the president constitutionally is supposed to be, not supposed, it must be a symbol of national unity. It's not a choice, it is a must as per the Constitution of Kenya. So once you assume office as the president, your work is to guard the Constitution, because when you swear, when taking off of office, you say, I will protect by all means humanly possible the Constitution of Kenya. You swear allegiance to the Constitution. Now, that means if you are a Luo president, you should equally serve other communities. If you are a Kalenjin president, you should equally serve other communities, including the state appointments. Your executive should have a face of national unity. Point number 2, the president is a custodian and not the owner of government. Constitutionally, government is the people. So government belongs to the people. If at all there are people in power, those are just custodians and not the owners. The real shareholders of government are the 50 million Kenyans, not the Kalenjin and not the Kikuyu, as Gachagua puts it. You know, Gachagua says that only those with the shares in this government are to benefit. In simpler terms, Gachagua is telling Kenyans only Kikuyus and Kalenjins are supposed to benefit from the government, including state appointments. Now, look at the recent appointments in government. It is a Kalenjin face. This is not something we should hide. We shouldn't bury our heads in the sand and assume all is well. The appointments are in the public domain because they must be gazetted. Today, unasikia Kiburono. Kesho, unasikia Kibuchoge. Kesho kutu unasikia Jemutai. It's a Kalenjin affair. And we are to ask, yes, we now know what Gachagua meant by saying, only those with shareholders are supposed to benefit. The Constitution of Kenya says the president is supposed to appoint not more than 22 cabinet secretaries. How many tribes do we have in Kenya? Ekuru Aukot is arguing like a scholar, and I love his argument. I'm going to play his clip shortly. But then he's saying, in Kenya, including all tribes, we are about 46. Including the small tribes, there are 46 tribes. In the position of the CSS, we have only 22 slots. If you are to appoint your executive, what I mean is appointing the CSS, appointing the CS, appointing the CS, and appointing the PSS. These are 3 offices that should have a national image. Now, this man Ekuru Aukot is arguing in this way, saying, because we have 46 tribes, take the 22 cabinet slots to 22 tribes without repeating. Yani kila tribe ipate cabinet secretary, kila tribe ipate at least one cabinet secretary. Lakini ukiangalia the number of Kikuyus in the cabinet are more than, I think it's about 10 if not 9. Look at the number of cabinet secretaries from the Kalenjin community. After appointing 22 cabinet secretaries from each tribe, the remaining tribes push them to CAS and appoint 22 of them. That makes 44 tribes. We already have 2 remaining to make 46. Now, move to PS. Fill the 2 tribes. And then when you fill the 2 tribes, you will remain with 20 of them. Now, the 20 of them remaining, spread it according the way you want. Angalieni tribe iko na more shares as parigadi, patia hao 2, 3, 4. But, you know, as we speak, there's a tribe that has 0 cabinet secretary. 0. There's a tribe that has 0 CS. There's a tribe that has 0 permanent secretaries. You can imagine. To make matters worse, there's a tribe that missed a CS. There's a tribe that missed a CS. There's a tribe that entirely missed a PS. So, we have tribes in Kenya that missed the 3 powerful offices in this country. And you claim to be a president, a symbol of national unity, a custodian of the Kenyan Constitution. You know, I always repeat these sentiments from Moi Kibaki. Moi Kibaki once said, leadership is not an opportunity. Leadership is a privilege to serve the people. Once you become a leader in any capacity, hata kuwa class monitor in school, as long as you are a leader, it's not an opportunity. It is a privilege to better the lives of your people. So a leader should not receive, and instead he should give. Now, the Kenya Kwanza government is doing the opposite. Instead, it is receiving instead of giving. Look at what is happening. Musalia Mudavadi is an illegal prime cabinet secretary. Illegal. Because the position doesn't belong to the... Although he's among the 23, yes, but then the position of the prime cabinet secretary is not included in the constitution unless amended. So he's a CS with no portfolio. Ni cabinet secretary ambaye hana ofisi. If he's a cabinet without an office, then which criteria is the government using to pay him? Which criteria is the government using to service his office? Which criteria is government using to pay workers in his office? Kuweka msumari moto kwenye kidonda. Musalia Mudavadi has an office for his wife. Not even the wife to the deputy president has an official office. You saw recently they were launching an office of the wife to the prime cabinet secretary, fully funded by the taxpayers' cash. The staffs paid by the exchequer. And I ask myself, is this office constitutional? The only wife who has an official office, not even in the constitution, but kwa sababu yeye ni bibi ya rais, ni Rachel Ruto. But the rest, hawana ofisi. Ladies and gentlemen, I buy the argument from Ekuru Aukot. He is a sober mind, speaking facts. The government of Kenya, the current Kenya Kwanza government, is a government of Kikuyus and Kalenjins. We have no apologies to make, and that is the bitter realities. Can we listen to Ekuru Aukot?
In fact, the best way to compare William Ruto's administration is with Moi administration. Moi, in a way, was balanced. You could see Moi even picking representation from regions. You could see a representative from the northern part of Kenya, a Somali, from the coast, from Kikuyu Central. This one is just pure Kalenjin affair. The Kikuyus who are being appointed are just a decoration. And to buttress that, Deputy President Gachagua himself said that this government is a company with shareholding. So it's those people who help them form the government who must benefit from it. What William Ruto and Gachagua are missing is one fundamental thing. The government does not belong to them. It belongs to the people of Kenya, the 50 million Kenyans. Over and above that, it must also now represent the 7.2 million Kenyans who actually voted for them, at the very least. Now, let's constitutionalize this. Article 130 of the Constitution of Kenya talks about the national executive, and that in appointing the national executive of our country, Kenya, you must look at the regional and ethnic representation of the people of Kenya. Kenya has 46, if I'm not wrong, 46 tribes, including the Shona, who were just recognized the other day. Now, when we were doing the Constitution, in our philosophical thinking, as the committee of experts, we established that there has to be a cabinet of not more than 22. At that time, we were working with 42 tribes of Kenya. Okay? So, the national government, executive, is supposed to be a unitary government, supposed to be a symbol of unity for the country. So, ideally, you could actually say this. The formula is in the Constitution. Pick 22 cabinet secretaries from 22 different tribes. Then pick 22 principal secretaries from 22 different tribes, and you will have the face of Kenya in that cabinet. If you are short of that in the cabinet, then you can now have things like ambassador, maybe head of the public service from yet another tribe, the judiciary from another tribe. And that way you will have a government of unity, a symbol of unifying Kenya. But what we are seeing today is just tribalism at its very best.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've had it in black and white. Personally, I have nothing to add because the gentleman has exactly spoken my mind. It's up to you, Kenyans. 2027 is not far. I know you will again be brainwashed using 50 shillings. I know that will happen. It's bound to happen. But then, it's upon you to make the right choice. Elect leaders who don't see leadership as an opportunity, but those who see leadership as a privilege to serve. Keep subscribing, keep sharing our content. God bless you. See you in the next video. Asanteni sana.